We wanted to record this episode because we've had a few conversations with our recent clients, and we found something that we also had when we started changing things in our business. A lot of anxiety around the complexity of a business, an online business, a coaching business. And we want to talk to you about how to remove that anxiety, because if you're doing the same things that we were doing as well, chances are they're easily fixable, but you've got to be aware of them. The reason why we had anxiety in our business is because we are completely different. I am personally very mentally organized, and I know it's a natural talent. I know how to dissect and break down complex things, but only in my head. On the other hand, Alessia, she's a visionary. She sees things, but she sees the end result. She doesn't see all the steps to get there. That's where I come in. But for that to be something that we can use as a synergy in our business, she always needed a plan, like step by step what we have to do all the way down to the final result, which is completely fine. Everybody needs a plan, right? So we, at least in Lazy Dancer Tips, we were working with plans all the time. And what was your experience with plans? Because that's what you wanted, right? You're like, I need to make a plan, because otherwise I don't know what I'm doing, what content I'm posting, when is the event gonna happen, when to send people to, all of that shenanigans.
I think it all started with when we first started the business, everything was new to me. So anything new has to have a place on a piece of paper for me. As Iacopo said, I'm one of those visionary. I see things, but in order for me to actually see it, plan it, and make it happen, I'm still pen and paper. So if it wasn't on paper, I wouldn't see it. And the reason why I was maybe a little bit uncomfortable, unsure, I didn't really know what I was doing. I had lots of people, agencies and gurus saying, you need to launch and you need to do it in a certain way, you need to send a certain amount of emails, and this is how many pieces of content you need to do online. Then I said, there's so many moving parts and so many new moving parts that I don't know how to put it together. So I decided to actually create a plan for myself where I had the date, I had how many months in advance I had to plan it, or no, it wasn't months, but it was definitely weeks.
It was months.
It was months.
Planning and designing, sure.
And to the point where I was designing and organizing the whole year. That was how much I needed to be ahead of time in order for me to fit it in and to feel safe. One of the first thing was to feel safe that I did everything, but also that I had free time to enjoy what little time I had left, because there were so many things that gave me that anxiety that I said, I really need to put everything down. And the funny thing is, by creating the plan, I didn't understand and didn't realize that I was creating my own anxiety, to the point that if I didn't do something that wasn't a plan, I would freak out. And I would freak out because I thought that if I didn't do something that was on my piece of paper plan, everything would fall apart. Everything, like people wouldn't see my campaigns. The campaigns would not go the way they should have. So it was actually piling up on how I was feeling. So rather than helping me out understand what I needed to do, it piled up on the anxiety that I already had. So I was kind of shooting myself on the foot on that point.
I don't think I ever told you that in the process, but I used to feel anxiety on specific months of the year because we knew exactly what to do all year, which sounded great. We were really organized, but in July, when we were supposed to have a nice break, a holiday, we would start getting anxiety because I knew all the amount of work that was coming for August, September, for the launch in September, because we completely overdid the plan. We put everything in it. What pages needed to be created, the checklist, what kind of content has to go out every day. And we would work for months for that to be ready to be deployed by the team and by us. But most of the times we were killing ourselves in building the resources. So everything we did was really forced to finish the plan rather than, okay, we know what we're doing, let's execute it in a way that makes us feel good. That never crossed our mind.
And the funny thing is, this kind of feeling you had in July, probably I never said that to you, you had in July, I follow with that because I had to organize what was going into my membership. So the membership, the Lazy Dancer Studio, I had to plan everything in advance in there as well. So I would have peace of mind. But also because we knew that there were certain holidays that actually made us more money than others, like September, October was a little bit meh, but anything around Black Friday, Christmas, and then January is what was the thing that made us keep going, right? So you get that big money in, and we thought this is exactly why we need to do it, so we can survive and we can do it. That was the feeling. So that was the anxiety.
The plan and the anxiety around it was driven by the fear of losing the sales, of losing the level of business that we had before. So we caged ourselves in this prison of constant work and following the plan.
But funny enough, when we started with Profitable Talent, so I said, okay, I'm not in charge of it, right? So I'm still here. You're in charge. You can do, like, this is your thing, your baby. I'm just here to complement whatever you have in mind.
Everything you do, I can't do.
Exactly. So that was that. But still, I said, you're in charge of this, so let's do your way. And there was something that drove me nuts. And I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it because it was something that we've done this for such a long time. It's in us. This is what we do. We need to make the plan, and the plan wasn't our thing. He started going, I don't want to plan this. I don't want to suffocate myself in having to do certain tasks or organize or plan emails ahead. I just want it to be spontaneous.
I felt like because we are running our main business, this one is kind of like a pet project. So I want to build it in a way that makes me feel good. Crazy idea.
Crazy,
right? So let's not have a plan. You don't need a plan. We're launching that day. Let's do what feels good. You would freak out.
I freaked out.
I don't work like this. I need to be organized.
Because it almost felt that everything, all my solid pillars kind of crumbled under my feet. Everything that I knew crumbled and they weren't there anymore. They weren't pillars anymore. It's almost like you took my legs away and everything all went into poop. But it didn't. So the change, it took me a while, but I understood why. Cat playing with tree. I understood why you started doing what you did, and even if it was uncomfortable on my side to not have a plan, it was the best thing that ever happened to us. And the thing is, I
don't think I knew what I was doing. Like I think I was starting to follow my guts into, I don't want to do this again. More like, so the plan is almost like a PTSD against it. So I don't want to introduce it, but I couldn't articulate it to you. But now we can articulate it to you because we realized what was happening.
And I want to put this forward because one of the reasons why we're talking about this is because I gave that plan or everything that I organized, because as I said, I like to write it down, to some of our clients. Some of them really needed it. Yep. It was one of those things that you know that someone needs a structure, someone needs to be organized in a certain way, like I was at the beginning. At least the first times. So you have an idea of what the moving parts are and what needs to be done and what needs to be organized. But on the other side, I saw some others of our clients that were so good at following the rules that, like me, it gave them anxiety and they wouldn't launch, or they would put their launch date so far in advance because they said,
to be able to do all the tasks.
And it was ridiculous. At one point I said, You are not gonna follow the plan. Forget about the plan because I don't want you to do this. And again, I saw her in the face saying, but I need the plan. It's like, you don't need the plan. You need something totally different. You need to feel good. So this is why we started restructuring our business with not having a plan. So let us explain.
I think the reason for the plan was that because we've learned so many strategies over the years, we knew how to do things, but mainly were things that have been done by somebody else, maybe with a bigger team, maybe with a different attitude. So we weren't really doing things that sounded and felt good to us, and we had just enough. We had enough of that. And when you reach that point in your life when you say, you know what, it doesn't feel good. And this time I'm going to trust this feeling. I'm not going to say, oh, you should follow the book because that's how it's done. When you start ignoring that voice, which is a big step for many, it was a big step for me for sure, because trusting yourself should be easy, right? That's the only person that you have total control of. That's the most difficult thing to do. But when you start doing that, ignore the plan and replace it with boundaries and standards. Because if you put boundaries, like, I don't want to feel anxiety in my everyday work. Okay, that's a non-negotiable. It's a bright line. How do I respect that every day in everything I do? And also standards, again, I want to feel good about it. I want to still serve people, but it's gotta be within the boundaries of how I want to run my life and my business. I don't want to do dancing monkey on social media. So guess what? You stop doing that. I don't want to plan ahead 1 million emails for 6 weeks. Otherwise, I'm afraid that people are not going to buy. They are. If you start saying, okay, we know what's going to happen roughly during the year, but I'm letting myself be free around how I will get there, because things might change. I can change my mind. I would feel a certain way one day. I would allow that freedom to happen. Then all of the posts, the emails, the launch, the way you deliver things would respect your way of feeling things. So one day you're gonna wake up and feeling inspired about an idea, a story, a concept, and then you write an email about it. Of course, referring it to maybe a paid event that you're doing. And that email, that one email, maybe you haven't wrote 5 emails because the plan said 5 emails, you wrote just 1, but that was really heartfelt and resonates more with the audience. It's gonna accomplish way more than the 5 emails that you rushed through just because your plan was giving you anxiety. So we replaced that with, you know what, we are launching on the 28th of January, let's say. We know that we're gonna allow maybe not 6 weeks because it's exhausting. We have our standards and boundaries. Let's allow 7 to 10 days tops so that we don't burn out, our audience doesn't burn out, and we can do it like the way we feel in the moment. We're still gonna deliver, we are reliable, we want people to trust us, but let's do it in a way that feels good. And nobody else has done it, who cares about anybody else? Do it in a way that feels good to you. That's what we said to ourselves. And how does it feel now? Because this discussion came about yesterday when I saw her just reading on the chair, and I said, you look very relaxed. You've been looking very relaxed for many months now. What changed? Because I'm personally not doing anything different, but I didn't say that, but you stopped obsessing about the plan. And then you came up with the plan point, which we thought was a really important point to share.
So I think the reason of feeling so relaxed is that I totally forgot about the plan. Yeah, as Iacopo said, if we have something coming up or it is spontaneous, we are going to do a launch or something or a video, it's just, as I said, spontaneous. But there is one very important...
Like this video?
Like this video. But there is one very important thing that changed completely my way of seeing the business. And it was the only thing that I want to plan is what I'm going to be doing throughout the year and what I'm going to be enjoying throughout the year. I don't want to create launches based on what I need to do throughout the year. I want to, and fill in my life. Yeah, it's like whatever time is left in between launches, but I want to go the other way around. I want to create my life first. I want to concentrate on what I can do in my life and who I can spend it with, and then having the business that fits with what I have decided that my life is going to look like. So
the side effect of this is that we are beings of emotions and energy. We can feel that. And we can feel when somebody's stressed. And it doesn't really matter what you say in your emails and your content. If you look and feel stressed, or if you create things from a place of stress, people will perceive that. And that is the reason why your campaign is flopping. That is why you are not getting requests from people that want to work with you. It's because you are emanating this anxiety that they want to stay away from, right? So if you did like one quarter of a full-fledged plan, but it felt more relaxed, I guarantee you it's going to be 10 times more effective. So that's kind of like a very unsexy strategy, if you will, that we're sharing today. But sounds unsexy because it's more like to do what feels good. Yeah, whatever. What does it even mean? You need to find your way, because we found our way. And if I tell you exactly what to do, that becomes your plan, and we don't want that. You need to come up with your own, I don't want to say plan again, but what feels good, that it only is going to work for you.
I think like it's not a plan. It's what feels right. It's the spontaneity that goes around with what you do, how you serve your people. It is about setting those boundaries, setting those standards, and looking at them very closely and say, do I really want to write 7, 10, 15, 20 emails that are really not felt just because I have to put down everything that there is gonna be in my Black Friday deal? Do I want to feel that I have to because otherwise I'm not gonna have the money that I want this month? Or do I want to say, you know what, I'll do what I can. I want my people to enjoy what I have, because I believe in my programs. Like, I believe in the bundles that I put together. I want to be spontaneous. I can't say that word. I want to be spontaneous. Also because whenever you're planning so many things in advance, what I noticed was it wasn't genuine. I wasn't in that moment. But when I write them down and I said, oh, look, Christmas is coming. You know what I could do? I could do something like this, and I can talk to them about X, Y, and Z, because I feel it right now. Whenever you are, I don't know, putting together your Christmas tree or decorating your home, it just feels right that I can share something that I have created and it is genuine. So I'm taking away all that planning that the big gurus said or did, or have like 100 people to plan and organize for them because they've got amazing copywriters, and I'm just gonna I'm just gonna cut it all down because that's what it is.
We don't want to have a team anymore, so it needs to work for the both of us.
And I want my people to feel that they are part of my world, again, in a very genuine way. Because remember, your business is yours, and people will come because of you, the way you are, the way you feel, the way you talk to them. It's not because of a strategy. So forget about the strategy and really do start concentrating on who you are, what you like, and the life that you want to live, and slot in that life your business and what the business and campaigns are going to be. Forget about the plan.
Also, the important point is that if your offer at the moment gives you a lot of stress because you've put too many elements into it that you have to deliver because you promise people, I've made a video where I explain how you can craft an offer that does not require you to be there constantly. It's very profitable, it's scalable, and I don't see many people talking about it. So if you want that on, building on top of removing anxiety out of our business, this is the video you should watch right now. By the way, I'm very happy that you're back in the show. We missed you.
Oh.
We missed her.